Here are the most common things you see on social media about running. A runner is showing a personal best that they just made and the training plan that they used to get there. Another runner reviewing a new pair of shoes that was just released recently. And then you see another coach discussing zone 2 and easy runs. Here's the biggest take I have with this trend. Social media is overemphasizing certain things about running, but didn't show us what running could actually look like most of the time. And because of it, it quietly changed what we think running is supposed to be. And if your running doesn't look like what the online influencers show you, don't let it affect how you want running to be for you. It might just mean that you've been given a distorted picture of what running actually means. I started running at 33 after a spontaneous collapse lung. And I grew up knowing my cardio was my weakest part of my body. So when I started running, I didn't have the usual background. I didn't grow up running. In fact, I grew up avoiding it. After the collapsed lung incident, I wanted to become healthier. But the more running content I watched, the more complicated running started to feel. It always seems like I need better gears, I need a race to train for, or another personal best to chase. And eventually I started wondering whether I'm actually running for my own reason or just trying to do whatever other runners online actually do. After 2 years of running consistently and going through many training plans and joining different races, I now have a better understanding of what running actually looks like. And let me tell you, social media online probably only showed 20% of what you would experience. The rest of the 80%, you won't know until you actually experience it yourself. And I want to change that for you. So I created this channel. I want social media to have more realistic stuff online. I want running shown online to be more realistic because that's how social media is supposed to work, in my opinion. So let me show you some of the biggest distortion you'll see on social media and what it could have hid from you. The first distortion social media presents is how running progress works. When you go online, it looks like everybody is consistently improving. Most content you see online about progress is about someone breaking their own records, and rarely they show how hard and how long it took them to get there. You will see someone break a 5K personal best, and then another person breaking their sub 4-hour full marathon record. And because those are the moments most people post, you started believing that progress should happen almost every single time or every month. But it doesn't. Most running we do on a day-to-day basis won't be our personal best. It is not normal for people to keep breaking personal bests every single month. Even following the perfect training plan, it is not realistic to expect having personal bests all the time. Especially if you started running after 30, your body will take longer to adapt to the training you put in. Without a proper habit to take breaks, you will get injured more often than you actually break records. The time you put on resting and recovering is the part that actually gives you a chance to come back to running sooner and improve more from there. But it's not the very exciting things to show on social media. That's why you don't see them often. If you ever find yourself having desire to break personal records every single week or every time or every month, running it become a constant pressure for you. And eventually you started treating regular runs less seriously and end up running way faster than you should. That's not a healthy way to build a running habit, in my opinion. The second distortion from social media is the running gears. After starting this channel, I have come to the understanding that gear review videos are one of the most popular videos within the running niche. So I totally understand why there's so many of them, because everyone just clicks on them. And don't get me wrong, I love getting running gears too, but these are my secondary reasons for me to run. Getting too many pairs of shoes is probably one of the biggest mistakes any runner could make. The problem is, the more of these videos we consume, the more they give us a tendency to focus on getting those new gears over the actual training we need to get faster. Whether anyone has the finest ability to do so or not, we don't need to keep upgrading our gears. In my opinion, you should get new gears only when what you have is actually limiting you. Right? Would a new pair of Nova Blast 6 outperform your current Nova Blast 5 significantly? I doubt it. What's more important is the routine, right? A habit that you can repeat. When you can run with just a pair of regular running shoes, no matter if it's a pair from 5 years ago or 10 years ago, purchasing gears is not the habit. The habit is what happens when the excitement disappears, and no matter what gears you have. And just to be clear, I do buy new shoes when I don't need them yet, but I only do so after I identify that this running habit is a non-negotiable for me for many, many years to come. So if you're a beginner right now and you have a pair of shoes that you run in, just stick with them until your habits actually stick. Don't rely on gears that make you faster, but rely on the basics and the fundamentals that you need for running. The third distortion is the idea that running has to lead to a race. Everywhere online, running seems to be building towards a race or an event. There are overwhelming amount of people posting their race results. And I want to first say that joining race can be very meaningful. I love racing for my own reasons, but I think many people enter them before they actually learn to enjoy the running itself. And that's a pretty bad way to build a healthy running habit. If training for a race is your only reason to run, then whenever your body asks for more recovery than the plan allows, you're probably going to push through anyways. And to be clear, there's nothing wrong with pushing through fatigue. That's the part of preparing for long-distance races. The goal isn't to avoid fatigue, it's to know which fatigue is helping you to adapt and which fatigue is telling you to back off. And if you never learn how to allow yourself to rest, you get burned out sooner than later. I guaranteed you. There are many sacrifices you need to make before the race happens. You need to take time away from other parts of your life. You need to rest more and eat differently. I think people need a more honest picture of what training for a race actually requires. So in my opinion, before joining any races, build the running habit first. Learn what running feels like and how to return after a difficult week. And then decide whether a race actually fits the life you're trying to build. Because racing should support your running, and your running should not exist only to serve a race. The fourth distortion is obsession with metrics. Now, particularly, I'm talking about easy runs, cadence, and zone 2 training. First and foremost, all these metrics can be very useful. But for beginners, they can quickly become another source of pressure. You can follow every number and still have no idea how your body is actually doing. You might stay in the right heart rate zone, but recover poorly. You might hit the right pace, but feel exhausted for the next 3 days afterwards. So before asking, was this run easy enough? I think the better question is, how did I recover? How did the effort actually feel? How do I recover more effectively so I can sustain the volume and the intensity I need more effortlessly? Right, zone 2 and easy running are not wrong metrics to keep track of. They actually can be useful. The problem is treating them like they're the main metrics to answer every single question about your progress. What should come first should be the outcome you want from running. Right? If you want to train up for a race, wanting to run faster, you don't look at how fast you should be running right away. You should first look at what is a realistic training plan that your body can sustain. Then you decide what result a realistic plan could potentially yield. And the most important part I believe in is that you have to be flexible in the metrics you track. Focus on your weak points and track the progress of whether you're getting better on those things. My weak points used to be sleeping, so I paid more attention to it. During that time, I didn't focus on looking whether I'm running easily or not. Don't let social media persuade you to change what metrics to look at, when the problem you're facing currently has nothing to do with those metrics. The biggest thing social media is lacking is why running matters to people. Maybe the benefits are not always dramatic. Running, if done right, simply give you better energy, clear thinking, and more enjoyable trips. Those benefits don't always make a good video topic. It's difficult to explain to the world when we become a more reliable person who keeps our promises, who become a better runner, or who I feel better. But those changes are actually what matters within us. And these small changes are the intrinsic values that actually change how we see ourselves. And that give us true confidence. And they are not dramatic, but yet they're the most important thing to us as runners. To me, running is just about becoming more present in life. I need to become a big thing before I see the benefits of it. If you're someone who wants running to fit in your life instead of taking over your life, drop a comment. Tell me what social media made you think running was supposed to look like. So if your running currently feels slow, inconsistent, and unimpressive, or completely different from what you see online, that does not mean you're not normal. In fact, it's actually the opposite. Most normal runners I know who have an enjoyable running habit don't post on social media. You might just be in the part of the running that nobody posts online. The part where you repeat the basics, learn about your body, and discover whether running can become part of your life without consuming it. If there's one thing I want you to get from this video, it's that social media rewards dramatic transformations and the shiny things. But what running actually rewards is something opposite. It's all the boring things like being consistent, being patient with progress, being, the willingness to keep going when there is nothing impressive to show. That is real running for majority of people in the world. And that's why real running doesn't look like social media most of the time. My name is Felix, just figuring things out one run at a time. If you want to see more of what realistic running looks like, subscribe to this channel. And this next video on the screen, I talked about the reality of marathon training I personally went through. Click on it and I'll see you on the next one.